Hey guys, and welcome to the Rhen of Fate 10-man raid guide. First things first, the trash. You have 4 trash packs and 2 patrolling mobs before you can reach the first boss. You will need some CC for the Unthralled Destroyers. They can pull you in and do really nasty AoE damage. The Invokers will cast a heal called Invoker's Boon. Try to interrupt that. Have a dummy chain scroll the Destroyers, and spec speed AoE stuns are really helpful. So hug the wall to the right side to skip the middle and the left trash pack. Pull the patrol first and then AoE the remaining pack near the entrance of the boss room. The first boss, Ungolok. We use the following raid setup: 1 tank, 1 Fury, 1 Chloro, 1 support, in our case it was a Bard, and depending on your tank and your healer's gear you will need a Defiler. This is a two-phased fight. From 100 to 30% he will be chained and cannot be moved. At 30% he will break loose, this will increase his damage done, and he will now be able to move and charge players, more to that later. The boss has the following abilities. The first ability is Venomous Barb. He will debuff a random player with a dot that keeps on stacking. You will need to kill one of the mindless spawnings to cleanse it. These are the little ads that run around the sides. When the mob dies, it will AoE cleanse every player inside a certain radius. The range is about 10 meters. The mindless spawnings also apply a stacking dot on the tank that cannot be dispelled but will be removed once the ad dies, so ninja pulling is not advised. The boss has an ability called Fatal Current. These are 2 red AoEs that will spawn on random players. You need to move out of that. This is a one-shot ability. The boss will cast Ink Blast. This is a nasty fart. The tank will need to turn the boss facing the raid so he farts away from people. Once the cast is done, turn him facing away from the raid again, because he will do a cleave shortly afterwards. If the tank leaves melee range, the boss will lose interest in the target. What happens is the tank will simply lose aggro of the boss. If that happens, make sure to taunt him back ASAP. The boss will do a mechanic called Building Pressure. This is a precast. There will also be an emote saying Ungolok gathers his strength. The Building Pressure cast is a precast for Pressure Blast. You will cast 3 Pressure Blasts in a row. You will need to click on the cages one at a time for each Pressure Blast wave. The Fury is taking care of the first cage, the Bard is taking care of the second cage, and I am taking care of the third cage. You will need to click the cage shortly before the Pressure Blast cast is done. Your 2 healer will also need to rotate AoE cooldowns for the first 2 Pressure Blasts. This is quite a high damage ability and will need to be topped off really quick to avoid a wipe. The 3rd Pressure Blast cast can be healed up slowly when the phase is over. During the Building Pressure phase, the boss does not move or attack or cleave, so people are free to move around. When the boss reaches 30%, he will break loose and gain the ability Furious Charge. He will emote Ungolok glares at someone. One person will get a big AoE around him. The boss will charge at the end of the cast, killing everything and everyone inside of it, even ads. But of course not the guy with the bubble himself. There will also be a shark ad spawning from the back of the room called Captive Terror. He needs to be tanked and killed as soon as possible. This guy has a frontal breath that will debuff players. You need to cleanse that. He will do a cast called Puncture Heart. This cast needs to be interrupted or the tank will be one-shotted. Here is one more tip before we go to the fight itself. Do not use tap target. Have every DPS in your group make a target at mark 1 macro, and someone should be marking the ads with number 1 that need to be killed. If you tap target, one person will eventually ninja pull, I can guarantee you that. Remember that the ads stack a bleeding dot on the tank, so you really don't want to ninja pull on this fight. So now you know everything, let's see the fight itself. So pull the boss, face him away. Ink Blast, this is the fart ability. Have the boss facing the raid. Once the cast is done, turn him around again. Fatal Current, these are the red AoEs you need to avoid. If you look on the raid frames now, you will see that the player has a green debuff. This is Venomous Barb. You should wait until the second player gets this debuff before pulling one of the mindless spawnings. Once the second player has the Venomous Barb debuff, pull a mindless spawning in, mark it 1 and have everyone kill it ASAP. People who have the debuff will need to come close to the ad to be dispelled. Usually by the time we kill the first mindless spawning, the first Captive Terror, this is the shark, will spawn from the back. Make sure your tank has a target macro, it's a lot easier to target it. Mark the Captive Terror as 1 and DPS it down. Everyone needs to help to interrupt the Puncture Heart cast, this is really important. This is the pressure phase. You see the emote saying he gathers his strength. You will now need to open the cages, 1 before each cast is done. Fufi opened the first one, Juno opens the second one, and you see me opening the last one now. Getting close to 30%, he will break loose now. He will still do all his mechanics, and he will now start casting Furious Charge. The way we handle Furious Charge is the person who gets the bubble just goes to the right pillar, my left. This also helps the tank position the adds so the boss can charge into them and kill them. Remember that every mob inside the Furious Charge AoE will die. So at this point you can ignore the shark, you only need to tank him and interrupt him. On the next Furious Charge, just pull him inside the AoE and the boss will kill him himself. Don't forget to still pull in the small adds to cleanse the Barb debuff. And that's it guys, good luck on your kill. I will add the career alerts that I have for this fight in the video info, so make sure you check that out. Please smash that like button if you enjoyed this video, and make sure you subscribe for future uploads. Yeah, and as always, thanks for watching.